My Motivators family. How's everybody doing? This is Marlene Motivates, your life coach, and I'm here for another motivation, some positivity on this Wednesday. I hope you guys are all doing great. I am doing good as well. Trying to get my phone adjusted and everything. But we're here for another dose of positivity, just having an adult conversation and talking about everybody is going through something. No matter what your situation is, everybody has something going on. Everybody has some sort of struggle, some sort of irritation, some sort of stress. Everybody has something going on, but what are we doing about it? How are we dealing with it? How are we coping with it? And I can say as a woman that tries her best to be positive, that it's okay when we're going through something that we can seek help. And that's the healthy way, because I can tell you guys, for a very long period of time, I was definitely the person who did not ask for help, did not seek help, did not get support. So, whatever it is that we're going through in our day to day life, that we also give ourselves the permission to get support so that we can kind of uh, alleviate some of the stress, alleviate some of the heavy load and the burden that a lot of times we have to bear and we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, because I think that that's something that's very important, to not allow toxicity, to not allow feeling like we have to always have the answer, because we don't. You don't always have to have an answer. You don't always have to have a solution. Sometimes when we're going through something, some sort of situation, some sort of trial, the best thing that we can honestly do in the midst of your trial, in your struggle, is just be in the zone and just continue on. But if you're struggling, I wanted to talk about 5 things that we can do. Let me make sure my volume is up. Okay, it is. I wanted to talk about 5 things that we can do in order to maintain, in order to be in this mode, because this life is very hard. It's very much a struggle. It's very much that we all have something. And I believe that 100%. That I believe that we all have something going on in our lives. We all have some form of stress. We all have some sort of difficulty. We all have something going on, but we can't allow what's outside, the problems and all of that, to get to us and to get us down. Hi, Miss Nexie. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. How is your Wednesday so far? We're just talking about this, that everybody is going through something. And I know, Miss Nexie, you have things that you're going on. I got things that I have going on. And everybody in every part of the world, everybody has some sort of thing going on. But how do we cope with it? How are we coping? Are we actually coping, or are we struggling? I can say that that depends on each and every one of us. I know that my coping is definitely built on me asking for help. And I have always been a person that was raised that you don't ask for help, you don't tell people your business. And yeah, there's some truth to that, but also making sure that you have a supportive community. So whether that be coaches or mentors, therapists, friends, you have to have some support. You can't just keep going through your struggle alone. just grinning and bearing it. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Nexie. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I really, truly appreciate it. Um, we have to each do the best that we can, in our present situation. So I wanted to say to somebody who is going through something, you're going through something financially, you're going through, I'm glad that you're asking. I'm still working on that asking part. I know, Miss Nexie. And I'm glad that you said that, because we're transparent over here. We're honest. Everybody has something that they're working on, whether it's self-care, your mental health, um, finding time to spend on yourself, that solo me time, setting boundaries. We all have things that we are going through. There's always something that each and every one of us has something that we're working on. But my thing is, I wanted to have this conversation because I want us to stop talking about what we want to do and then get into the action plan. And we all know that if we don't have a plan, what's going to happen? There will be no success. There will be no peace. There will be no happiness if you don't have an action plan. So, Miss Nexie says she's working on that asking part. So maybe think about something that is reasonable for you. Start small. It doesn't have to be anything big or large, but maybe starting with asking for support for whatever you need, or if you need to do something to take care of yourself so that your cup can be filled up, then ask those questions. Do all the things necessary for you so that you can be able to be happy, so that you can have peace, so that you cannot feel stressed out. And my thing is, I know that I overwork. I work way, way, way too many hours. But, you know, honestly, it's the way that I was raised, that you make it happen, and you don't complain about it. You should be happy that you have a job, right? But a balance is required, motivators family. A balance, that it can't just be all work. You got to have some things that you set up for yourself. That's why I wanted to have this conversation with my motivators family. You got to have some things that pours back into you. You got to have some friends that is outside of your children, your family unit. You got to have other people that you spend time with. You got to have people you have adult conversations with. You got to have people that you can trust, that is going to be there for you, listen to you. I know that when I'm going through things, there's only very few, very select amount of people that I can call up and say, blah, 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 I'm going through blah, blah, blah. And then they'll listen to me, whatever it is I'm going through. They'll let me vent, they'll let me cry, they'll let me say X, Y, and Z. And then when you have a really good friend or a really good loved one, they're going to say, I care about you, and I don't want you to feel that stressed out. And they'll give you all the solution, the help, and the support that you need so that you can be okay. Hey, real odds and evens, how are you doing? Miss Nexie says, it's difficult for me to ask for help or support since I've been a self-reliant person all of my life. So bringing myself to even consider asking brings you anxiety. Yeah, I can understand that part too, because that has been always the thing with me. Growing up in a Caribbean household, we were always raised that you make it happen. If you got something, and you do all the work. If you got to work extra, do for yourself. And while I do agree, because as adults, we got to take care of ourselves and do all of those things. But when it comes to matters of our mental health, when it comes to us learning balance, you do have to learn to tell people what you can do. And you got to set boundaries, and you got to let people do the things that they need to do for themselves. And yeah, so you got to work it out in your own way, in your own time. We're not rushing anybody to anything. But if you are feeling overwhelmed and stressed out, I want you all to seek some support so that you can be okay. So welcome in Real Odds and Evens and Miss Nexie. Thank you guys so much for being here. And anybody in the replay, I really and truly appreciate every single one of you. Miss Nexie says, I'm so proud of you for being brave enough to talk about it. Yes. We have to have these important conversations, don't we, everybody? We have to talk about oh, when we're going through things in life, right? And I believe that everybody is going through something. Everybody. So maybe your issue may not be a financial issue. Maybe your issue may be having a health problem. Your issue could be issues going on with your family. We all got something going on, and while my thing may not be your thing, but if it's something that's important to you, it's valid. You're valid. Thank you, Real Odds and Evens. He says, yes, you do touch on things most won't. I try, you know. I use my platform to teach, to help, to support, and to encourage. I feel like that's my purpose on social media. We talk about important topics. We go into things that I think is very important to talk about. And I wanted to say to everybody, if you're going through something, I want you to feel like you can go to someone and talk about it. And I'm not talking about relatives that don't care, or people that don't care, or people who have proven that they don't care about you. I don't mean those individuals, no, because that would be weird, strange, you know. We have to find a community of people who will be there for you. And that's why I say you got to make your own community. And I have very few people in my life that know the ins and outs. Hey, realist, how are you doing? Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Very few. When I say my circle is like a, what is it? The top of a pin's head. Very small because I don't like opening up and telling people my personal and private business. I don't like to get backstabbed. I don't like my business to get spread around. It's a lot of reasons why I act like I act. People will feel that when you don't ask for help that you don't need help. You may need help, but at the same time, I don't want everybody, telling me everything, telling and spreading, reporting on all my business. But also at the same time, we all deserve to have somebody to boost us up. We all do. Yeah, facts for odds and evens. We each deserve to have somebody to say, you're doing a good job. So I want to say to all of my motivators family, whether you're here live or you're watching in the replay, you're doing a good job. Okay? As adults, when we're adulting and taking care of our responsibilities, whether it's working, taking care of our families, taking care of ourselves, things that we got going on within your own personal struggles, we all need to be told, you're doing a great job. So to all of you ladies, to all of you gentlemen, if you're doing the very best that you can, be happy. Be proud of yourself. Hi, Miss Donna. How are you doing? Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for the hearts. I really do appreciate that. We each are going through something. And I love to use my community of motivators to encourage and to support all of you. Is there anybody who is struggling financially? Are you guys finding that everything has gone through the roof? Things are so very expensive, the food, costs of living, and etc. Or just stress. Life is just so overwhelmingly stressful. And I find that as the years go on, the stress gets more and more. You're expected to do more. People expect things from you. It's a lot, right? It's a lot for us to handle. But, you're not alone. You're not the only person. And that's why I love having this community that we can talk about things. That if you feel overwhelmed, I want you to know you're not the only one overwhelmed. You're not the only one stressed out. You're not the only one feeling the burden of financial pressures, physical issues. If any of you have some health problems going on, you got some negativity that you're dealing with. We all got something. Everybody got something going on. But this conversation, I wanted to talk about what can we do when we're going through something. Yeah, let's get into the meat, into the the marination of this topic. What can we do when we're going through something? And the first thing is that when you're going through something, you got to acknowledge it. Because I know when I talk about some of the things that I was going through in my life, of course, to select people, I would, oh no, I'm good, because you don't want everybody to know your business, right? But also at the same time, you have to find people that you can be clear, that you can be vulnerable with. Miss Nexie says, Miss Marlene, us coming from similar familial backgrounds are told, keep your business inside of our homes from a very young age and get our tushies kicked if we don't do so. There, the why we can't ask. Yes, I do understand that, Miss Nexie. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But you know, this space is for us to mindset shift from the negatives to positives, and for us to understand that a lot of things that we were taught, a lot of stress that we have in life is what has been given to us. People put their fears, their insecurities, they plant doubts in our mind. People just drive you crazy because of their anger issues, their jealousy, their manipulation. For so many reasons, we go through things as adults. But, you know, this space is about mindset shifting. And of course, I'm going to put in some motivation because we all need encouragement. So, have you been going through something in your life recently where you just feel down in the dumps? You feel overwhelmed, you feel very, very stressed out? Well, this topic is for you. When you feel downhearted, discouraged, not supported, this is the time where you are going to have to do it for yourself. And I know that that gets overwhelming because you're like, when am I going to ever have the time? When am I ever going to find the time to do something extra for me with all of the responsibilities that I have right now? Well, you know how the saying goes, you make time for what's important for you. And what could be more important than having good mental health? What could be better than finding tools and tips that helps us to lighten some of the load that we carry on our backs, on our heads, things that overwhelm us? So let's talk about some of those things. When we feel this type of way, right? About, oh, I got all of this stuff going on in my life. Hey, Nate, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I really appreciate you being here. Happy Wednesday. When you feel overwhelmed with things, stress and pressure, and like I said a little bit earlier, there's so often that we will feel overwhelmed and stressed out as an adult, as even some things that Miss Nexie covered, some things that was put on us, some things that we've had to deal with that has been bothering us our whole lives. We have to help ourselves. So, you know, I've always been an advocate. I'm always going to be an advocate for therapy. I'm always going to encourage every single one of you guys, therapy. Now, I know that it may not be something that everybody can afford, that everybody can do, but we always can work on ourselves, whether it's getting some self-help books, whether it means that we're going to have to learn some balance in life, learning to say no and meaning it. Some of the things that happen to us in our life, why we feel overwhelmed and stressed out, is because we don't say no. Who am I talking to? because that was definitely me. That was Marlene. I was the person that was always the yes person, yes girl. Oh, can you do? Sure, yes. And volunteering myself, volunteering my time, assisting this person, and just doing so much for other people that we don't make room for ourselves. We are the ones that have to put an end to that. And yes, you're going to have some people, they're going to be upset that they no longer can take advantage of you. They're no longer going to get your money. They're no longer going to get negative energy, and you don't want to hear about it, you know? When you shift your mindset, when you shift your focus, when you speak up for yourself, your life is going to shift and pivot. Okay? Your life can shift and pivot when you make better decisions. When you speak up for yourself, you're going to have to say no. You know, I know because I've done it almost all my life, enabling people to disable them, always saying we're helping our relatives, helping our friends, helping this person, helping that person, but are they helping you back? You got to be there for yourself. And to be there for yourself, you have to know what you want to do, and don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to say I can't. And do not volunteer yourself for things that you used to do. Cleaning up after other people, cleaning up after other people's messes. That's another one, Motivators family. That was me all the way, feeling that I had to be the supporter. I had to be the safety net for everybody. I always was the one that had to open up my wallet and help people financially. We're the ones that has to stop the bad habits, the bad behaviors. Okay, so that's one thing. After that, so that we can get the help and the support that we need, I mentioned it a little bit about finding support. So whether it's joining a support group, making sure that you have healthy relationships, people who will listen to you, people who care, people who will give you good advice. It's those people that you don't have to even say anything. They're going to be calling to check on you and not really requesting anything back from you. So I think that that's very important, making sure you find a core support group so that you can feel lessened in the load that you're trying to carry. Because that was something for me. Like I said, and Miss Nexie mentioned too, we have to learn how to be there for ourselves. Hey Metro, how are you doing? Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. Yes, reciprocate. Yes, that's one of Realist's favorite words. You know, I can't say it with the I-I-T-Y. I can't say that word at all. I can't say that word at all, but I can say reciprocate. It has to go both ways, and we each have to learn that. If you're feeling overwhelmed, you're probably picking up more things than you need to. You got to learn to say no. Stop answering the phone. Stop making yourself available. And also, something that has been helping me so much recently is being very careful of listening to negative content. You know, because we consume negativity. There's negativity on TV, on social media. You have to be very careful about what you're listening to. Are you taking part of gossip and drama? All of that can really stress us out. And there's a lot of people who are just drama people, negative people, people who always complain, and that affects us. You may not think that it affects you, but it affects you. If you always get yourself there listening to the negativity, there listening to the drama, that's going to stress you out. That's going to make whatever issues you have going on even heavier to bear. So be careful. But those drama people, you know, try your best to stay away from the negativity. And when you stop picking up those phone calls or participating in the gossip, being a part of drama, helping everybody out, they're going to stop. The frequency is going to be less. They're going to come back to you less when you really don't participate in the negativity and the drama. I found that when I stopped being part of the negativity was no longer around me. You're the one that has to be like, cut it off. And you actually have to tell people, I don't want to hear about anything if it's not positive. You know, everybody has things going on sometimes that you talk about stuff, but some people, it's their personality trait to complain. It's their personality trait to always be angry. It's their personality trait to, they always complain about things, but they never do anything to change their situation. So that's very important about who you're associating with. Do you have positive people around you? Are they pouring into you? Are they learning from whatever they've done so that they don't keep repeating bad behaviors? So that's a really big deal. Yes. Yes, realist, reciprocation. Very important. It's very important to give to others. And I've been learning more and more as I'm getting older that if somebody cannot give to me, and it's not just financial, because a lot of people believe that the only way that they can give to you is financially. And there's many ways to give to people. You could be a listening ear. You can encourage people, you know, with positive words. You can support people spiritually. You can you can do lots of things to be there. You could be a listener, you can be an encourager, you can motivate somebody, you can inspire somebody, you can be a good role model. There's lots of things that we can do to help other people, but some people do not want to help and support you. And there's that. And that's what you have to pay attention to, that. Those red flags, and cut them off, you know? And I hate to say that there are relatives, there's people on social media, there's a lot of things that we don't need to put ourselves around. Don't put yourself in those sorts of situations. You got to cut off the negativity. You got to cut off the drama, because if you don't, they're going to keep coming around. People are going to milk you. They're going to, literally, some people will suck the life out of you. You cannot have peace in your life because they don't have peace in their life. You see how that connects? You see how it follows? If you are around people and they are negative, all they can give you is negative. And it took me a really long time for me to connect the dots. Metro says, I got a former friend try to manipulate me. They were very unhappy and want to say no for an answer, so that person is blocked. You protected your mental health. Yeah, you got to. You got to protect yourself. You got to protect your peace. You got to protect your joy. And you got to protect yourself from people. You can't trust everybody, especially people on social media, especially people that are relatives. Notice I said relatives and not family. You can't trust everybody. You can't think that everybody thinks how you think. We have to stop expecting us from other people. People are going to give you what they want to give you. People are going to show you what they want to show you. People are going to show you who they are by their actions. Okay? They will. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. People are going to show you who they are. Some people, they can put up this facade, this fakeness for a while. And then other people, it takes some time. But whenever you find out who people are, then just say, oh, thank you. Don't be upset for years and complaining about it. You're like, okay, now I can eliminate you from my life. Now I can eliminate the drama. Now I can eliminate the stress. Okay, now I can stop the negativity. Now I don't have to hear about ridiculousness. Because a lot of people, their life is ridiculous because they make it ridiculous. Have you ever been around people and they always make very poor decisions? They have angry behavior. They're always a part of drama. And it's like, I do agree that lots of injustices happen to everyone. Injustices happen to everybody. But if you are around people and they're always complaining that, oh, everybody's against me, nobody likes me, and you're like, nobody likes you? Everybody's against you? Or do you do things that people don't like? You know, people love to scream, everybody's jealous of me. I hear people say that everybody's jealous of me. Yes, people aren't jealous of you. People don't want to tolerate your negativity. People don't want to tolerate your foolishness. People get sick and tired of you always doing things that's wrong or complaining about stuff and expecting to always get a bailout. No, I'm not going to keep bailing you out. You need to do the right thing, you know? That's the thing. That is the thing. Yes, never stop having a good heart and be willing to help people, but that we can trust and respect. But you have to skip out on the bad ones. Yeah. And that's the reason why you have to have discernment. You got to pay attention to, okay, am I helping this person or am I enabling them? I had to learn that was most definitely two different things, because it really and truly is. Oh, my allergies are acting up, guys. It really and truly is. Supporting somebody and enabling them is not the same thing. Supporting somebody is helping somebody that helps themselves, but enabling somebody is always doing for them and they don't do anything for themselves. Okay? We have to shift our mindset to saying, I'm helping them. No, you're enabling them. There's a big difference. Big difference. Yeah. Yes, cutting them off with a lot of drama. Hi, Eunice. Hi, Miss Eunice. How are you doing? Welcome. All is well. All is well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. How are you doing? Happy Wednesday. Yes, facts. Yes, cutting them off with a lot of drama and negative influence can really, yeah, people get so mad, so mad when they can't know your business. People get so mad when they can't be a part of your world. They get so mad when you cut them off. They get mad when you expose them, when they know that they can't play mind games with you anymore. People get mad when they can't use and abuse you. People get mad when they can't disrespect you. People get mad when you know your worth and you know you don't have to take it. And you don't, everybody. You don't have to take foolishness. You don't have to keep letting people take advantage of you and use you and abuse you, because we all deserve more than that. I forgot to put that. I've been meaning to put that up when I started, but whatever. We all have to do better. We all have to do better, and we all have to work on how we treat ourselves. I think that's something that is so very important. We have to work on treating ourselves better. You got to treat yourself better, ladies. You got to treat yourself better, gentlemen, because that's very, very important. Miss Eunice says, I'm doing wonderful. Awesome. Hi, Leonica. How are you doing? Welcome in. Really appreciate you being here. Thank you. Thank you so much. How was your Wednesday? So, you know, there's a lot of people, especially people who are on social media, that act like everything is perfect in this world, and people can portray their life to be like, what is it called? Like this dream life, like everything is good in their life, everything is perfect. And we all know everybody got something going on. Everybody got some issues. Nobody's perfect. And Marlene is not a person that is going to be fake and act like I don't got stuff going on. I have good days And I have bad days. And I know you guys do too. Yeah, we all have things that stress us out, drive us crazy. People drive us crazy. Your relatives drive you crazy. Jobs drive you crazy. But ultimately, after it all of it, after all of the stress and the drama and other people, how are you treating yourself? And that's something that I want for my motivators family, for us to start thinking about those things and having more conversations about that. Make sure that you are treating yourself better. Ladies, treat yourself better. Get a rest. Put your feet up. Take a vacation. Do some good things for yourself. Same thing with my gentlemen. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're doing everything that you need to. You need to be respected. You need to be loved. You need to be supported. And if you're not finding that from the people that are around you, it's time for you to block them out, remove yourself from their presence. But you got to do that for you. If you have people that don't care about how they make you feel, they don't care about your boundaries, they don't care about upsetting you, ghosting you, talking about you, people will say one thing, feel like they can talk to you any way they want to, not show up for you, disrespect you, but then you're supposed to respect them and be there for them. And it's like, what? Like, what are you even talking about? It doesn't make any sense. But that's why you got to identify the users, the takers, the manipulators, and dismiss them. You got to get those people out of your life. You can't keep letting people use you and abuse you, because if you don't make a change, they're going to keep taking advantage of you. And that's very unfortunate, but that's the reality. People will use you until you cut them off. So that's the only way your life is going to change. You're going to have to change the situation, and you also are going to have to change your mindset. You know, that it took me such a long period of time for me to believe that I deserved to spend time with myself, that I deserved to have supportive people, because after you're not getting it for a long time, you know what I mean? When you've been asking for something for people for such a long time and they're not doing it, you kind of get used to poor treatment. You get used to disrespect, and we shouldn't. We shouldn't ever get used to being backstabbed. We shouldn't get used to people taking advantage of us and no showing and not supporting and being rude. We should never get used to that. That's not okay, everybody. It's not okay to get backstabbed. It's not okay to get taken advantage of. It's not okay. Okay? And people will say, "Oh, I'm sorry." No, you're not sorry. You're just sorry you got caught. Or some people really are just sorry people. Like, you guys can read it between the lines. We're not kids over here. We're all adults. Some people are just, it's not good for us. They're very disrespectful. They only care about themselves. They're very, very selfish. And when you identify people who are very selfish and only care about themselves, you got to make some decisions. Realist says, I call them habitual line crossers. Wow, that's good, Realist. I like that. Habitual line crossers. And they will. People will keep crossing the line if you keep letting them cross the line, right? We're the ones that, it's one thing to talk about boundaries and to tell people what we don't like, but do you enforce them? And that is one of the things about being so stressed out and going through things. If you just keep allowing people to treat you like that and you don't do anything about it, have you changed the situation? Have you even had a mature conversation? When you do this, this, and this is how it makes me feel. I don't like this. If you don't, it's going to keep happening. The thing is that we can't do anything about other people's actions, but what we can do is do something about our reaction. Yeah, you do that. Yeah, I don't like it. But what do? Do you keep taking it? Have you had the conversations? Have you withdrawn yourself from being in their presence? Do you keep allowing them to use you and abuse you, to always make excuses to you? That's the question. Okay? And a very important question at that. Yes, everybody's talking to one another. That's awesome. Rilla says some things we shouldn't have to ask for. Yeah, that's one of the things. I don't feel like we should have to ask for people to respect us, but yet we do. I feel like we shouldn't have to ask for people to show us kindness, to show us consideration. But there are some people, because some people are just inherently selfish. And I'm about to go there. There are some people who are not mentally stable. We got to remember that too. There's a lot of people that, well, my dad used to say, the elevator doesn't go to the top floor. Okay? So you have to have that in your mind too. Yes, we all have good days and bad days. Yes, we have to try to be focused on the positive and not let the negative ones get us down. Yes, it's all about balance. To be honest with you guys, you know, we're all going through something, but it's about, yeah, you got to work, you got things that you got to take care of, but also it can't be all work, and it also can't be all play. You know, because we're adults. We got adulting to do. You got responsibilities. You got things that you have to handle, but at the same time, it can't just be all work, 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 or it can't be all play, play, play. You know, you got to have that balance. Spending time, having your leisure time, spending time, the things that will encourage you, refresh you. People who are refreshing, that really has helped me, and stop expecting for people who have bad behavior, no support or low support, to change to be somebody of high support and be encouraging. It's not possible. It's not in some people's nature, because for one reason or the other, they don't care about you. It's usually because they don't care about themselves, or they got their own issues going on that they don't even have any care or concern about yours. You know, that's what it is. Rilla says, especially from grown folks with common sense. They know exactly what they are doing or not doing. Yeah, that's real talk right there. You know, and that's one of the things that I had to learn as an adult. Stop making excuses for people's poor behavior. If somebody is not showing up and doing the right thing, I'm not going to keep giving you a pass. I'm not going to keep letting people just keep saying sorry. Sorry is not enough. And saying, I don't have the time. You don't have the time. I don't have the time either. You know? Yeah. You sure ain't lying about certain grown people have no common sense. Yeah, very immature. There's a lot of immature people, and if you let it, people will keep using you and abusing you as long as you allow them to. You got to cut them off. Yes, Marlene, while listening to your methods, I have been encouraged. I am doing better one at a time, not allowing bad influence to get to me and not taking it personally. And that was such an important thing for me. I had to learn to stop blaming myself because of a person wouldn't grow up. They were immature. Why was this person selfish? Why didn't this person show kindness and consideration? Why doesn't this person support me? Why? And you'll drive yourself crazy asking why people don't do the right thing. What I had to learn is I had to learn to focus my energy on the people who do. Don't worry about the ones that don't. Focus your energy on the people who do. The ones that do show up for you, the ones that do listen to you, you know. And we'll usually, as human beings, the nature is we'll be trying to help, support, and fix people who don't want help, don't want support. They just want to use you, take advantage of you, and you got to cut that off. or you'll be really stressed out and really overwhelmed. So I'm just saying that's the message, you know. So I really enjoyed this one. Not going to keep you guys too much longer, but I did want to say, you know, make sure that you're taking care of yourself, taking care of your mental health, making sure you're taking care of your physical health, making sure you mindset shift. If there's some negativities around you, you cannot control what other people do. The only one that you can control is you. You can only control your reaction to the situation. You cannot make people do the right thing. You cannot make people support you. You cannot make people love you. You can't. And you add stress, you add weight, aggravation, frustration to an already difficult situation. So stop expecting for people to be something that they're not, and start taking care of yourself. You know, go for your walks, take care of your physical health, take care, you know, get some emotional support from people who emotionally support you. You know, we have to stop expecting something from people that they're not willing or they're not capable of giving, because that's something that I didn't talk about in this conversation, that some people are just not capable. Some people are not capable of being compassionate. Some people, it's not within them to be understanding. Some people, it's not capable of them being affectionate. It's just not in them. Some people are just only about themselves. They're only about being selfish. They're only about doing what benefits them. They don't care about your benefit. They don't care about your mental health. They don't care about your financial situation, and that you could have real things going on. All they want is, what can you do for me? And that's the toxicity that we don't need. Pay attention to those red flags, okay? Pay attention and don't let people use you and abuse you. All right? Okay, that's my message tonight. You guys get used to this. I think I'm going to make this my new time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays. I'm trying to get back into the mode of doing lives. I've tried to do lives in the daytime. That's not working out. But we're gonna try to do more later times live stream. So we're going to do the Wednesdays, and I'm going to try to find one more day that we can do a later live stream. It may be Sundays. That's what I'm thinking. So let's see how it goes. Maybe it's going to be Wednesdays and Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see how it goes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. And if you feel so overwhelmed, you know, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'm just a life coach who shares tips and tricks and to help you so that you can have peace. You can feel like you can take a little bit of that burden, a little bit of stress, lower your blood pressure a little bit. But you got to take care of yourself. To all of my motivators family, love yourself. Be your own friend. Know the people who really are there for you and the ones that are just there for a handout. Those are the ones that you got to dismiss, remove, swipe left, block them for sure, because they're going to keep coming back as long as you let them keep coming back. Okay? So Metro says this is an excellent topic, Marlene. Thank you so much, Metro. Thank you to everybody who came through today. Miss Nexie, Metrosonic, Realist One here, Nate the Great Podcast, Miss Eunice, Leonica. I think I got everybody. And Real Odds and Evens, and Donna Just Being Real. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you for all of the words that you guys say. You make the topic wonderful and beautiful. Those who are watching in the replay, you know what to do. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. I love to hear from you guys. Leave me comments, comments, comments. And if you're new here, subscribe to this channel. And I'm going to try my best to be back on Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is going to be the new schedule from here on out. Wednesdays and Sundays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay? Yes, everyone have a blessed and a safe night. And keep your head up. Do what you need to. Take care of yourself. Friend yourself. Love yourself. Okay? I'm Marlene Motivates, and you know what I say over here. Just know it. Just breathe it. And be it. And live your best life. I'm Marlene Motivates, your life coach. Until the next one, be positive, do your best, be your best, and don't take on the negativity. Until next time, guys, have a great rest of your night and have a wonderful Thursday and Friday and Saturday. And I'll see you back on Sunday. Bye.